Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to respect everyone's time here. So, good evening. Welcome. We are so happy that you guys hopped on tonight. We know how busy this time of year is. So, kudos to you for hopping on. If you don't know who I am, I want to take a quick minute to introduce myself. My name is Liz Goring. I live here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I know we've got a couple other Michiganders on here tonight. I am an educator by trade, a Lyme warrior, a certified personal trainer, certified health coach, and I'm working on my certification to become a Lyme specialist, primarily because of the crazy journey that I have been on with chronic Lyme disease and transmitting that to all three of my kids in utero. So that's a whole nother story for another day. But the main reason why I'm on here tonight, sharing with you guys about the power of cellular activation. So 5 years ago, I had the privilege of meeting Holly Tomic. Holly, you want to wave there? Holly is a busy mom like myself to three kids. She's a grandma, which by no means looks like a grandma. Um, she lives here in Ada, Michigan. They own Tomic Stables, a huge horse facility. Her and her husband are both entrepreneurs, have many businesses. Since being pregnant with her daughter, Olivia, she became really passionate about health and wellness. And she is here tonight sharing what we both have learned about that has affected our lives for the positive. So welcome. And Holly, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you for hosting tonight and sharing this information, and just for all of you guys hopping on to join us.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. I love it. I still, after all these years, get goosebumps when you talk about, and you just mentioned it. You didn't even share your whole story, but your journey with Lyme and passing into, in utero to your girls. And I know what you guys have been through, and I know what this information did for you and your family. And so it's again goosebumps because I just get really passionate about what we get to share. We have a lot of shy people on here. Brenda, kudos, you got your camera on. Look at them, they're all hiding, but that's okay. We're just glad you're on. It's okay. It's okay. We do love you guys are taking time tonight to learn with us. Somebody cares enough about you to share this information with you, and for that we are so grateful. We know everybody's busy, like Liz said, so we're going to try to get through this information relatively quickly without going so fast that we can't convey it the way we want it to. It is so important. As Liz said, I'm a homeschool mom, horse trainer and coach. My husband and I own a couple businesses. This business I started 6 years ago. I'm not going to share my whole story with you. Let's just say I was a diehard skeptic. I cannot stress that enough. Thank the Lord we didn't have health problems. I didn't think I needed one more thing to take. And so even though my best friend was sharing this with me, I was kind of a brat. I just wasn't open to looking at it. We had so many things that we were taking. Some of you might be able to relate to that. Like, I don't want one more thing to take, right? It wasn't until I took the time to dive into this to really understand how different this is from supplementation that I was like, okay, wait a minute. I need to really get serious about this. And so when we started taking the products and doing this for ourselves, my husband and I both, we just had tremendous benefits from way higher levels of energy, much better sleep. I was in my 40s and feeling like I was way older than that. And I was doing things right, you guys. I was eating right, working out. We're very careful about our toxic load that we bring into our home and our bodies. But I was just feeling old. I hurt getting out of bed in the morning. My energy levels weren't what I thought they should have been. My recovery time from workouts was terrible. And all of that improved to the point where we were like, people need to know about this. Of all those supplements I was taking over the years, nothing made a change in my life like what this information did. So that's why we're here sharing with you. And once you do something you love, you share it with people, right? You read a great book, you love it, you tell your friends about it. You go see a great movie or you go to a good restaurant. You want people to benefit the way you benefited. And that's what we do here. We get to share with you what we love and how we benefited. So maybe you would choose to do that for yourself. So enough about me. Let me share my screen with you. Bear with me. This might take a minute because Zoom did some updates. You might have heard me saying, and it's not making our life very easy. So let's see if I can actually make this work. There we go. Liz, is that a go? Does that look good? Fantastic. All right, you guys. So we're going to share some slides here with you. We have people on here tonight that are just tuning in for the benefits the health benefits. We have people tuning in tonight because they know that with this company, there is a business opportunity, right? I finally saw that. It took me a while, but here I am now with an amazing team, and I just love sharing this information. So we're going to cover products. We're going to look at studies. We're going to look at how this is different. What is activation? Then we're going to look a little bit about the company so you know why we're in this space that we're in and who is this thing? What's this thing called LifeVantage, right? Who are we? So first of all, just another reminder, what we're talking about is activation. That was a new word for me. I was not familiar with the word activation. I was only familiar with supplementing. The best analogy I can give you is this. Supplementing is kind of like using a pager in the days we are now of the latest smartphone. You can still communicate, but it's on a whole nother level, right? Can you still get by with a pager? You could, but why would you if you could have a smartphone, right? Way more efficient. So it's just advanced health technology is all that it is. So we're going to look at why that is different. So this is my family. I just share this because I want you just to know kind of a little bit who I am and why I'm sharing this. I know if you have a family, right, they're the most important people in your lives. And these people right here are so important to me. And when I learned about this, I wanted them to benefit. And so part of why I share is I want other families benefiting like we have. This has helped our son tremendously, our daughter. You already heard about my husband and I. And my stepdaughter, Emily, and her husband, Hector, they're the ones that just made us grandparents. So there they are, right? But we all benefit from this. And you can even see Woody, one of the horses in the background. They benefit too. Our show horses, our athletes, they're athletes, and they're on these products as well. So it's even for animals. So keep that in mind if you're an animal lover. So you may know people, I know in my circle, or if I'm just out and about and I'm just listening to people, whether it's at the grocery store, the bank, wherever we are, sporting events for the kids, people are not feeling great, right? There's like this epidemic of people just not feeling like they should. They're dealing with migraines or insomnia, major illnesses and diagnosis, diabetes, heart disease, MS, allergies, other autoimmune issues. And you got to start to wonder, like, why are so many people not thriving and being as healthy as they can? Here's the deal. We now know that we're exposed to over 80,000 toxins, over 80,000. That's not the environment that your grandparents and their grandparents grew up in, right? A lot of things have changed and we're exposed to so many more things than they were. Not just in our environment, but also like our food is lacking the nutrients that it should have. We're exposed to heavy metals and pesticides and other toxins in our environment that just, they weren't around or weren't so prevalent as they are now. So these things take a toll on our body and it stacks up, damages our cells and produces this thing called oxidative stress. So just like the word activation was new to me, so was the term oxidative stress. I was not familiar with that. Some of you may be. I love it. I was still a little bit in the dark, even though I thought I was pretty well versed in health. I didn't know about oxidative stress. So why do we care about that? Well, we now know that oxidative stress is the root cause of hundreds of health conditions. I want you to hear that again. The thing we're talking about tonight, oxidative stress, is the number one, the root cause of almost every health condition that we face and that our animals face. So rather than throwing Band-Aids on symptoms with pharmaceuticals or throwing supplements at symptoms, which sometimes supplements are needed and they can help, absolutely. Sometimes pharmaceuticals are needed. Sometimes that's life-saving, like we know that, but they're all Band-Aids. If we can address the root cause of this causes so many things to go wrong in our health and it's oxidative stress, that would be a win for all of us. So you can see a little bit on this pinwheel. If you're on your phone, I know it's kind of small, but you can see all the different health conditions that we now know are rooted in oxidative stress. And then there's a little visual for you. Like we know what happens to an apple. You set an apple out, if you slice it, it's exposed to air. The apple does not stay healthy looking, right? It gets brown, it gets soggy, gets mushy. It's oxidizing. This is what happens to our cells on the inside of our body. So what oxidative stress does is it actually damages the integrity of the cell. Think about how important your cell health is. Your cells make up your tissues, which make up your organs, which make up your systems. If we're not addressing the health of our cells, everything else is just out of whack. So we need to go to the root cause and get our cells healthy first. What does it look like if you have oxidative stress? Well, a lot of things that we saw in that chart just a minute ago, but maybe you have aches and pains like I did. I felt like I was feeling way older than I should have in my 40s, especially for someone who is very proactive. Maybe you get sick more often than you like, or you're super tired, brain fog, headaches, and so many other symptoms. But this is kind of in a nutshell, some things that you might go, wow, I think I actually feel like that. I was too. But the cool thing is, I didn't know this, our bodies have a built-in arsenal to fight these free radicals that are doing the damage to our cells. We just need to turn this back on. How do we do that? This is where LifeVantage comes in. Our flagship product, Protandim NRF2, is the only product in the world to this day known to impact oxidative stress in any impactful way whatsoever. In fact, it's proven in clinical studies to reduce oxidative stress by just an average of 40% in 30 days, oftentimes a lot more than 40%. It reduces that cellular stress through this thing called NRF2 activation. Don't get too hung up on that. It's just the name of the pathway in the cell that produces your antioxidants. And then we go in and turn the switch back on. So it produces these enzymes, these antioxidants and key enzymes that neutralize over 1 million free radicals every second for the life of the enzyme. We're going to look at why that's important in just a minute. It helps your body repair and rejuvenate its own cells, helps you detoxify, and it turns on what's called survival genes. You have survival genes inside your body. That's pretty awesome. Like God knew what he was doing, right? Pretty much a miracle, our bodies, when you think about it. So I'm a diehard label reader. So I hope if you're a label reader, you'll appreciate this. My first thing I asked my friend when we were talking about this was what's in it. Because I became a label reader. I was pregnant with our daughter. I started reading labels on everything. If it was going in my body, I wanted to know what it was made of. This amazing product, the only one in the world proven to do what it does, is made of 5 herbs. 5 herbs. Milk thistle, bacopa, ashwagandha, green tea, and turmeric. Some of those you might be familiar with. Oftentimes people supplement with these things, and that's great. They all have their own little benefits. None of them are going to impact your oxidative stress. And you can go take all 5 and it's not going to impact your oxidative stress. Why? Because it's the patented synergy of this product. It's just the right amount of each herb and the tiniest amounts that in that synergistic form goes in and flips these switches back on in your body. So incredibly powerful. So let's look at the difference between taking your antioxidants versus making your antioxidants. So we're pretty familiar with antioxidants. I go to Costco and I always want to take a picture of it's like an antioxidant aisle, right? They want to supplement, you want to get your fruits and vegetables. You do want to do good things. You want to eat well and take care of yourself. Don't start eating McDonald's food every day. You're going to add to oxidative stress. We don't want to do that. We want to ease the load on our bodies and give it good nutrition. But here's the bummer. If you eat a blueberry, one enzyme in the blueberry neutralizes 1 free radical in your body. Well, you have trillions of free radicals all of the time ravaging your cells. The enzymes and the antioxidants your body makes that it produces on its own through NRF2 activation, these bad boys neutralize 1 million free radicals every second of the day for the life of the enzyme. So your body's making millions of these babies and they're neutralizing 1 million to 1 every second. So you've got kind of like putting a Dixie cup on a raging fire by just taking antioxidants, or you can flip on your body's own internal sprinkler systems, how I like to think about it, by activating your pathways. Now, at the bottom of this slide, you can see we talk about catalase, glutathione, and SOD. If you're not a science person, you don't love information, don't worry about that. But if you love information, I challenge you to take a note of that or take a picture of this slide, whatever you want to do. Go look up catalase, glutathione, and SOD and look at how important those are. And we increase those by huge amounts. In fact, glutathione, we increase by 300%. Do you guys know how much money people spend trying to supplement glutathione? They actually do like IV supplementation. It's not a mystery that it's important, but it's not very bioavailable. It's very hard to supplement. It's costly and it's not terribly effective. Your body makes it. Just turn the production back on. And we do that in a very large amount. Another example of this, right? 400 oranges or, 500 cups of broccoli, all those blueberries, all those vitamin C tablets, just to come close to neutralizing that million free radicals. That's not even 1,000,000 to 1. That's just to get yourself to neutralizing 1,000,000. Nobody can do that. Nobody wants to do that. But you can see on the other chart here, when we're neutralizing that 1,000,000 to 1 every second for life of the enzyme, now the oxidative stress level is coming down dramatically. In fact, if you haven't seen, it's a short clip of an ABC investigative report. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure whoever invited you gets you that short video clip. You're going to see how in blood work, ABC Primetime went in to do this investigative report. They drew the blood of the reporter, John Kionis. You might even remember who he is. And they drew his blood again a very short time later, not a month later, not 2 weeks later. I think it was like a week or 10 days. His oxidative stress levels, you guys, in just that short amount of time, came down to that of a newborn. He's still a customer. He's still on these products after all these years. So this is clinically proven in blood work and a natural product that's unheard of. So this is the part that won me over because I'm a bit of a science nerd. I need proof. My skepticism was winning me over instead of, just looking at the information. This is what got me. My friend was like, do you have studies on those supplements you're taking? No, no studies to be found. We have 28 peer-reviewed and published studies on PubMed.gov. What is PubMed.gov? That is where the scientists, the researchers, the doctors, it's where they all go for the latest tried and true information. To have a natural product, you guys, that has clinically in peer-reviewed published studies, natural product, it's unheard of. It's unheard of. You just won't find it. And did you see the places that did the studies? American Heart Association, Harvard, National Institute on Aging. When they saw what this product was being proven to do, they knew they had to get in on it and do their own studies and figure out how can they fit this in, right? Can they validate it? Can they disprove it? And it's pretty amazing the studies that they've been done. My dog's just barged in here. That's what I get for not shutting the door. We're going to have puppies playing in the background. So let's look just real quickly at 3 of these studies. I'm going to be really brief. I don't want to bore you. Some of you are like, yes, let's see the studies. Some of you right now, you're like, I'm going to take a nap. Wake me up when this is done. I'll be quick. And if you love this, and you want to see this in further detail, we can get the information for you. But the NIA did a study that they started in 1995. And since the time that they started that study, they were trying to find something that could be proven to extend lifespan. In all of the years they were doing this study, they couldn't find one single thing proven to extend life until they introduced Protandim NRF2 into their study. We were the only things in the entire study proven to extend life, and we did it by 7%. Why is that a big deal? The Lord knows our days, right? I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I'll tell you what I want is a good quality of life. And so if my body is being benefited and I'm aging healthy and I feel better, that means a ton. But can you imagine if Big Pharma had their hands on anything that was proven to extend life by 7% and delay the onset of age-related diseases? That's crazy. It would be so expensive. It'd be on every billboard and every commercial when you turned on your television. So the next study was published in a MS journal for multiple sclerosis. So I just learned this recently. So this is kind of cool news. Big Pharma, I knew they're trying to copy us. They've been trying to copy us for years because what we do is so distinct and so amazing, what we do in the body naturally. And they're trying to get a piece of it. I just found out recently that Big Pharma has spent billions and billions of dollars to try to come up with something that does what we do. And to date, they still have not been able to do it. Every drug has a side effect, you guys. Again, they can save lives. Sometimes they're necessary for quality of life. I understand that. But with every drug that we take, there is a negative side effect. An ER doctor told me that face to face. And I'm like, yep, you're saying it out loud. So here, Big Pharma is trying to find an activator that can just target the genes responsible for MS. I love it. More power to them. I have friends with MS. And if they can benefit from a pharmaceutical that improves their quality of life, let's do it. But in their own study, they pulled in our product. This is a $50,000 a month drug with side effects. They pulled in our $60 a month, 5-herb patented NRF2, and we outperformed them in their own study. You can read it right there in their own conclusion. You guys, that's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. We're not claiming to cure, treat, mitigate anything. We're just sharing with you what they found in their own study. This one is a little harder to see, especially if you're on a phone. I'm sorry, but let me explain it to you a little bit. This was in a medical journal. What they did here was they were taking gene markers, right? My best friend told me when I was really skeptical on this, she said, listen, she said, my mom died from cancer. She said, I'm okay not knowing what I never get. If I can tune my body away from illness and disease, why would I not do that? And I'm like, this is what she was talking about. In this study, they looked at gene markers for 3 diseases: colon cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. And in this study, what they did was, you can see the arrows are going up in the first column. Almost every arrow is going up. When they introduced Protandim NRF2, almost every single arrow switched direction, is going the other way. You guys, this is called nutrigenomics. This is what we do. This is what this company is about. It's using nutrition to affect your genes in a positive way. So that old theory of if you have a history of colon cancer, breast cancer, heart disease, and you're just more prone to that, not true. Your genes can be tuned. 90 to 95% of your genes can be tuned through environment, nutrition, and activation plays a key role in that. So don't feel like you're just stuck with what your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents had in your family. We now know we can do something about it. And that's good news for all of us. So Washington State said this, one of their studies, they said NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future, and it may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. I want that in my body. I want that in my kid's body. The most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health, and it's made of 5 herbs. It's 6 years for me, and it's still mind blowing. I just can't get over it. So once we knew that we could activate this NRF2 pathway, they went to work realizing there was more work to be done in our cells. So we now know there's several pathways that can be activated. And now we have what's called the tri-synergizer, 3 activators that work synergistically together. And synergistically working together, they have this exponential impact on the positive expression of the genes that you want doing good things in your body. You can just see some of the numbers there, but it's crazy. It's so effective and it was so impactful that we already have patents on the one product, which is unheard of. Unheard of. Do you understand that? Like a natural product to get a patent on something made of herbs is like unheard of. We had a patent lawyer say, like, you don't have a patent on that. We're like, yeah, we have 7. They went and looked it up. They're like, holy cow, you have a patent on a natural product. We're like, yes, we do. These 3 activators together were so powerful in the studies and so unique in what they did. They now have a patent. A patent on the combination of the 3 products. It's so cool. Like, just get so excited sharing that. So we didn't stop there. We had the single activator. We added 2 more. And we're like, what else can we do? And so check this out. We have a catalog of activation products now, not so extensive that it's completely overwhelming because everything works synergistically together. No one else is in this space. We're the only activation company out there. So we're very specific to what we do and what we offer you. But I love that we have the only activated hair care system in the world. We have the only activated skincare system in the world, the only activated product for our pets. We have gut health products. We have a micronutrient line for the deficiencies we have in our diet. We can help fill in with these micronutrients that are time release so your body gets what it needs when it needs it. And we also have the world's only activated liquid collagen, which I'm going to talk about just briefly. I don't want to keep you on here too long. Let's look at just 2 products before we start to wrap it up and look at the company, and we'll get you off here. I'm sharing this product with you because activation can sound a little confusing. It can be like a lot of information coming at you, especially when I'm sharing studies. But how many of you grab your morning coffee? How many of you grab an energy drink throughout the day? How many of you need something to just a little pick me up, whether it's in the morning or later in the day? How many of you drink coffee all day long because you just need it to get by, right? That's not unusual either. We're tired. Our world is fast paced and we're tired. Coffee's okay, depends on what you put in it, right? But you don't want to drink coffee all day long. That's just not a good healthy option. You definitely don't want to be drinking Monsters and Red Bulls and oh my goodness, just don't do it. It's so bad. I keep reading more and more about what's in those and how bad they are. we have a great alternative for you. So if the whole NRF2 activation is like, that's a lot of information, listen, get some Axio, drink it and see how you feel. You'll experience activation in a pretty quick way. The Axio drink is for healthy energy, but it's more than that. It's a nootropic, which means it feeds your brain. It gives your brain what it needs to get rid of the brain fog, to wake up, to focus, to concentrate better. You have concentration issues, your kiddos have focus issues, try some Axio. The brain mapping studies on this are remarkable, and it's super, super clean, which I love because remember, label reader, that's me. Look at what this can do with the NRF2 together. The brain mapping studies on these two products, again, just mind-blowing to me. But look at this 9-year-old boy's handwriting. This was a patient of a doctor named Dr. Brett Brimhall, who's now a very good friend of mine. And this was a 9-year-old boy that he had been helping. This boy had some focus and attention issues. Look at the difference in his handwriting in just 1 week. When Dr. Brett saw the power of this, he partnered with the company. He's like, my patients need to know about this. So he's a huge advocate for activation. And I love hearing him tell this story is way better than me telling it. But this is just remarkable, just showing what this can do when we turn our brain back on. So it's working like it's supposed to. I know Liz, if you asked her about Axio for her girls and for their whole family, like she could tell you amazing stories. They're athletes, big time athletes, and Axio is a huge part of that. So the last product we're going to look at is collagen. And if you had told me 6 years ago I was ever going to talk about collagen in my life, I would have said you were crazy. I wasn't happy when the company launched it. Why? You can't get anything that we offer you anywhere else but through our company. Nobody else is in the activation space. It's us. Collagen you can get anywhere. You can go to Costco and Walmart and Sam's Club. And I'm like, why would we offer a product that you can go get anywhere? And then I realized the why behind it. We're activation. That's what we do. This is the only product in the world that activates your body's own production of collagen. And the results have been crazy. They estimated 12 million in sales in the first year. They did almost 40 million. You don't sell a product unless it's working. People aren't going to spend the money. When they launched this and people were seeing what it was doing, not only what it was doing on the outside, what they were feeling on the inside, it just went gangbusters. So I didn't realize how collagen was that important. I'm a farm girl. I don't pay attention to like collagen and vanity things. And I like if I wash my face at night, honestly, like full disclosure. But the collagen is like the largest protein, most abundant protein in your body. It is so important. It holds us together. It supports your organs. Every organ needs collagen. It keeps us like able to not be a blob on the floor. So it's kind of important, but it declines as we age. And so we go in and turn the production back on. What a brilliant thing to do. What makes it different? I already told you, we activate your body's own production, but get this. We also replenish what's been lost. That's the supplement part. That's what your current collagen, if you're taking one, that's what it's doing. It's a supplement, and that's fine. It's just not nearly as powerful as this. And if it's a powder, you're not getting what you should be getting. But it replenishes what's been lost, but it also slows down the degradation of your collagen. So it slows down the loss, replenishes what's being lost, and then it comes and activates your body's own production. Clinical studies are great. I mean, here's some pretty cool numbers, but what's even better than the numbers that you see here is going to be some pictures. Let me show you a couple pictures. These are real people. These are people that we know. My husband, you're going to see his picture here in just a minute. I mean, you guys, 120 days. I think she's pretty happy with what that looks like, right? And I was part of the consumer trial, so I had to take my own pictures, and I was pretty amazed. At my age, to see the difference it made around my eyes and stuff was pretty exciting. This is Betty. Betty's had amazing results with the collagen. Her 1-year photo is even more incredible. I gotta someday I'll actually load that up on here. I'm so behind on getting that up here because it's been many months, and I need to get her 1-year photo added to this because you'd really see even a bigger difference than just the 5 months photo. Here's my husband. He's a farmer, he's a firefighter, he's a contractor, and he's in the sun all the time, lots of sun damage. He's not one to put, topical things on his skin, let alone sunscreen. So there's some damage there, some premature aging. This was 6 months in the collagen. We took a picture in June when they launched it. We took a picture in January when he said, I think that collagen is doing something to my face. I'm like, I think you do look pretty good. We pulled out the first picture we took, and I mean, look at that side by side. That's pretty cool. So again, label reader, me right here, what's in it, what's not in it. I love that it's super clean. There's no added junk. It's non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free. All the stuff we want is in it. The stuff we don't is not. Remember the synergy of the products, the NRF2 and the other activators? Well, when they launched the collagen and people that were already on the NRF2 started taking the collagen, they knew what each did in their own studies. What they weren't expecting was the health benefits that were coming out of people's mouths, the stories that were being told, taking these two products together. So they're like, what is going on? They went back to the deep dive study on cells, and they found a remarkable gene expression when these two products are taken together. Remarkable gene expression. Like your production of SOD is up like 2,700%, like crazy town. So now what? You guessed it, there's a patent pending on these two products combined together because of what it does. If again, you like the science, there's a video of our science panel doctors discussing this study in very much layman's terms. It's a fantastic study. If you just want to see that for yourself, let us share that with you. Just get with the person who invited you. All right, we're just about done. Let's wrap it up. But why are we in this space? I'm going to share a little bit about the company with you now. Some of you are on here looking at the business side of this. I got just a couple slides for that. But it is a business, proper disclosures, right? If you don't work a business, you don't make money. And that's common sense, but I want to make sure we point that out. My skepticism came also in the form of why is this in this direct sales space? When I saw the studies, even when I heard the stories, how it was doing, why can't I just go buy this at my health food store? Like I can go buy supplements. Well, we actually started there. We actually started in big box stores. So we're going to get to that in just a second. I want you to know we are a US company. We are based here in Utah, in the US. We're debt-free. I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan. That's a big deal to me. If I'm going to lock arms with a company, I want them to be financially responsible. So we're debt-free, but we also have millions of dollars in the bank. Why does that matter? Stability. I don't want to be with a company that's like on a rocky road, right in the red. Debt-free in the US, millions of dollars cash on hand. Love that. And our board of directors, you guys, is amazing. We've met them. We know them. Erin Brockovich, if you're old enough to know who she is. I talked to a group of youngsters one time. They were like, who? I'm like, really? You don't know who Erin Brockovich is? Erin Brockovich actually sits on our board of directors. Back that up just a second. Sorry. So I started to tell you a little bit where we started. Why are we in this space? We did start in box stores. The company launched the product. The studies were there. It sat on the store shelves like GNC, and nobody could explain what it did. Well, then ABC Primetime comes in when they saw the studies. They did this report that you got to see if you haven't seen it yet. And millions of people saw the report, and millions of people wanted this product in their body, went and bought it. And then they didn't do a take 2 or a take 3, right? There's no follow-up. People forgot. The attention died down. The company almost went under. Can you imagine? The company almost went under. Nobody could explain what this did. It was so far ahead of its time back then. Even now, it's still ahead of its time. People are trying to copy us. Word is getting out, but it was so far ahead of its time that nobody could explain. The store clerks were like, I don't know. It's like an antioxidant or it's a sleep aid, all kinds of crazy things they were saying. People came in and said, listen, you need to put this in the hands of people that can tell the story. And that's what they did. So in 2009, they switched it into direct sales. People like Liz, myself, we get to share with people like you and explain activation. This is going to be a household name. People will know what this is. What do you put on yourself when you get a cut or your kids get a cut? You put a Band-Aid on. Are there knockoff Band-Aids? Yes. What do we call them? Band-Aids. What do you blow your nose with? Kleenex. Are they all Kleenex brand? No, but Kleenex is like the original, right? So we say Kleenex. This company is the activation company. People are going to come along. They're going to try to break into this space, but we hold the patent. So we're in a pretty awesome position. But it will be a household name, and we get to be at the forefront of that, which is super cool. So what would it have to, if you're looking at the business side of this, what would you need to make it worth your time? Because we're all busy. I was homeschooling 2 kids, coaching 15 students, traveling to horse shows every weekend. I did not have time to do one more thing. I told my best friend, no way am I ever going to partner with the company. I don't have the time. And then I found out, when am I ever going to do something so I do have time? Do you want to be as busy as you are? I didn't want to stay as busy as I was. I loved what I did, but it was busy. I was away from my family a lot, traveling a lot, and I wanted to be with them more than anything. As much as I loved my job, I wanted to be with my family more. This has given me that opportunity to do that. But for some people, it's $500 a month is a huge impact to people's their financial state and in their homes. And I'll tell you this, something I've learned, and someone shared this with me, and I thought it was so profound. We need more money in the hands of the right people, you guys. There's nothing wrong with earning money, right? It's what we do with it that counts. And the reason I'm here, because Dr. Brett Brimhall, I heard him say at the very beginning of me looking at this, he said, we need a lot of people making a lot of money so we can go help a lot of people. Changed my life. This wasn't about me. This was about what can we do if we have more resources to go help more people. So maybe you need to replace an income. I don't know. Maybe you hate your job. Maybe you love your job. You'd like to do it less. We're a publicly traded company. We're on the NASDAQ. This is our income earning statement. So you can see right here what's possible. I know people making all those levels of money. Okay. This has replaced my full-time income multiple times in 6 years. So it has been a very impactful business for us as a family. But what it's allowed us to do as far as helping and serving has been the best part ever. That is the biggest blessing. So 2 ways that you can, if you see the value in the products from a health perspective, you can be a customer. You can buy a one-time order at retail price. You can be on subscription and save some money on the subscription. Totally customizable, whatever you need, and you earn rewards as a subscription customers. My words aren't working. Subscription customer, say that better. You can also be a consultant. If you see this like I did, and you're like, I know I'm going to share this. I was already telling people before I was a consultant. If you're like, I know people that need to know about this, let the company pay you to share. There's a small annual fee, but you do get a wholesale price. I urge you, don't become a consultant just for the better price. Just take the customer rewards. It'll serve you just as well. Okay. But if you think you'll share, look at what it looks like to be a consultant. We'll answer some questions for you and earn commissions. We travel together. This team is amazing. The company is amazing. And you get everything you need to do this business. And you get to do it right from this thing. I run this whole business from my phone. My team alone does over $2 million a year in sales in 6 years' time. I do it from my phone. That's pretty amazing. I'm just a homeschool mom that trained horses for a living, and now I get to do this. So all we ask is this: whoever invited you tonight, whether it's from a customer standpoint or you're on here because you're learning about this for someone else that you love and care about, let us know where you're at. Can we help you get started or help you help them get started? If you're looking at the business side of this, let us know that. If nothing here brought value to you, that would suck. I'm sorry. I doubt that's the case, but tell us, let us know, hey, it's not for me, not interested. We love you anyways. It's fine. Like, we're not friends based on what you do with this. We just care about you enough that we wanted to share this information with you. But if you let the person who invited you know where you're at, it just makes it way less weird. So we know how to follow up with you. Just do us that solid. Okay. We absolutely appreciate you being on. I hope we didn't take up too much of your time. Liz, I'll stop sharing in a second. I love that you guys took time tonight. Liz, thank you for allowing me to share the information. I know I went kind of quick. I wasn't too fast, but people are busy. We got things to do. So I hope it was worth your guys' time.
Yes, thank you so much, Holly. It was great. Appreciate everyone hopping on tonight, and I hope you guys have a great night.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.